Hey guys, it's nice to be here. Marcos, I love you. He's the love child between Che Guevara and Alanis Morissette. Isn't he? So cute. It is nice to be here. I love this place. I love coffee shops. And I wish I had more harmonic convergence jokes, but I don't, because I feel like that would sort of lend itself, but I didn't know what I was getting into. Part of the reason that I like coffee shops and don't perform in them as much is because most of our comedy takes place in bars, and I don't drink anymore. I don't care if you drink, but I do have literature in my purse for anyone who's suffering. It's better that I don't drink, because when I drink, I don't turn into a cougar. I turn into more of a booger. You know, something slimy that you can't get off your hand. I don't do drugs either. I haven't done drugs for a long time. I did a lot of drugs, like a lot of us when I was a kid. You know, I did like what I think of as kiddie drugs, which, you know, like a little puff of weed here and there, right? Or maybe a little bit of acid, okay, on the weekends, you know, or like maybe some mushrooms, or okay, so maybe a few buttons of peyote, like, you know, when my friend's brother came home from college, or maybe some speed pills, which are really these things called White Crosses, and if you eat more than 10 of them, it makes your nipples really burn, but you still do it anyway. Or, you know, maybe a little bit of hit off the nitrous tank back when the dead was still alive, or, you know, some whippets or things like that. Or, okay, maybe a little crank made in a biker's bathtub, because I didn't want to offend my mom's new boyfriend. Or you know, maybe huffing a little model glue, because I was hanging out with those nerds, or huffing a little aerosol deodorant, which is a way better high than the roll-on. And then eventually, you know, drugs also got to be a problem for me. And by the end of my drug use, I liked my drugs hospice grade. Let's just say that. My grandmother was in the hospital on a morphine drip, and when I went to visit her, I looked at it and I said, "Hey, are you going to finish that?" You know, when you're in school, they warn you about dying young, but what they don't warn you about is not dying young. Where's my fucking pamphlet on that one? So as you can imagine, I also attend several 12-step programs. Let me just tell you something about 12-step programs. The best thing about them is that they're free help, which is very unusual, fully self-supported by the members. The downside of 12-step programs is that they really frown on you doing the things that you go there to stop doing. And once you get there, you really want to do those things that you're trying not to do anymore. The other thing about it that sometimes can cause a little bit of a conflict for people is that they're spiritually based, or they're based in the idea of God, which, like, you guys may not know a lot of comics. You've gotten, some kind of a broad range already with just a few of them. There's a lot of cranky atheists in comedy, but there's also a lot of alcoholics. Anyway, I digress. So you know, and if you go to a 12-step program, and you can visit some of them, it runs the gamut. Like, on the one hand, you have people that go with the old classics, you know, time-tested concepts of God, like Jesus, right? But if you drop that name, it's what I call dropping the J-bomb. Some people get really sensitive. You can kind of feel the collective butthole clench in the room. Now, on the other end, they're also very broad. They're like, make it, you know, design the higher power of your choice. That's a big one. It's really fun. It's like one of those virtual reality games where you get to decorate a house, only this time your whole life is at stake. And a lot of people are like, oh, you don't like God, you had a dog, you know, grew up with a lot of dogma around religion or whatever, pick a doorknob. Now that's, you know, just because a doorknob, I can see where it's more powerful, because it's, you know, sturdy, steady, it serves a purpose. So the thing that I don't like about that is that I tend to hang my dirty gym clothes on my doorknob, and so, you know, I am not like super religious, but I'm a little more reverent than throwing my dirty underwear on my higher power. I fall somewhere in the middle, you know what I mean? Like, to me, my concept of God is like everything that I am not. My concept of God is somebody or something that could be loving and compassionate for more than 10 minutes without wanting to punch you right in the face. Also, I think that the God, in my understanding, could wear a night guard all through the night so that, you don't grind your teeth down without waking up and finding it for some reason in your pajama bottoms. Those things are really difficult. I'm supposed to wear a night guard. That's all I'm saying. It never is in my mouth when I wake up in the morning. It's always... Anyway, I digress. So anyway... So that's a little bit, just to give you a heads up, should any of you find that you need to partake of one. Now, the best thing about it though is that I feel like now that I have, I feel like all my dreams could come true. This year I know is going to be my year. Like, I've always wanted to be a stepmom. So I'm just waiting for the right Mr. Hand-Me-Down. I'm not dating anybody, exclusively yet or real. But I'm throwing my fupa in the game this year. I really am. I'm going to wax even without a Groupon. That's, one resolution I have. I started exercising. I go to Weight Watchers. Yeah, apparently I can't do anything without a sponsor or a meeting leader. I lost 16 pounds in Weight Watchers. I mean, just thank you very much. I'm so hungry. Anyway, yeah, so let's see. Oh, okay, I do exercise. I started off slow though, which you have to. Like, if you haven't been doing it, I did some yoga, and I did the kind you can find on cable, on Comcast On Demand, which is like every man's yoga, where between each pose, it's not the real spiritual kind. Between each pose, they advertise things like alcohol and tanning products and the morning after pill, just to kind of ease you into it, which is why my chaturanga still looks more like chimichanga. My Aunt Kathy sent me, she's a born-again Christian, she sent me one of her favorite DVDs, which is Step Into Praise. And if you do that, some Pontius Pilates afterwards, I'm telling you, that's an effective workout. I'll even do a senior workout. Step into the light. Let's see, what do I want? What am I looking for in a mate? I love that we're near a library because there's something different. A man who not only can read but wants to. That would be a big departure. I don't care about race. I'll date a man of it. I don't see race. I just see people who don't have to get their moles checked. That doesn't always, people don't always get that. It gets a skin cancer thing. Anyway, let's see. Oh, younger men. I am at this weird age. Most of the men that I'm around, other than the winners in my meetings, are comics. Most of the comics I'm around are a little bit younger. But they still invite me to parties and stuff, and they'll be like, yeah, bring some of your single girlfriends. But I'm at this weird age, so I'm like, okay, is it all right if they're widows? And aging is weird, which, I'm glad I'm not so out of my mind. I feel I can deal with it because there's weird changes that come along with it. Like, active is often a descriptor in the things I buy, like my yogurt and my pants. It's a real selling point. And my childhood heroes have all become murderers now. That's weird, Although, say what you want about OJ, I think he spared us one Real Housewife of Brentwood, California. Yeah, reality television, not a fan. Because I'm a real football fan. I don't, whatever. And like the guy that I wanted to fuck at work started calling me mom. That was weird. I still want to fuck him. Probably a little more. I would date a younger man though, I would. I mean, facial hair can be an issue, but I keep it trimmed, I started going to the doctor too. I had to have all these checkups. It had been a while. I mean, I used to be somewhat of an amateur phlebotomist, if you get my meaning. I have to say one thing though. I did a lot of crystal meth and I always had trouble with my triceps. Always with the grandma arms. I was like the only junkie with floaties on. It's ridiculous. It's not an easy muscle. They're a little better, but not really. I got glasses recently. That was weird. I thought the world was a beautiful place. Turns out it was just macular degeneration. And then I went to the gynecologist too. I go to this place in Chicago called the Chicago Women's Health Center, and it's like kind of this grassroots place, and they, they're kind of hippie, and, they like you to be involved in the exam, which frankly too much involvement has landed me in a lot of exams. So anyway, but yeah, they want you to be a part of it. So I go there, and it's warm, and I get in my paper gown, and I'm sitting up on the exam table, and I put my feet up in the stirrups, which have these hemp-covered stirrup things, which I'm sure one of the volunteers there knitted. Anyway, first the woman comes to me and she's like, "Would you like to insert your own speculum?" And I'm like, "Well, I didn't bring it. I was hoping I could use one of yours." And then she gives me a hand mirror and she's like, "Would you like to see your vagina?" And I was like, "No, but I am willing to talk to it on the phone." Anyway, you know what? That's my time. You guys have been great. My name's Laura Hug. Thanks so much.